Every day, billions of people reheat leftovers assuming steaming hot means safe. That assumption is wrong. Certain foods undergo silent chemical reactions when reheated, reactions the WHO links to cancer you cannot see, taste, or smell. 1 in 6 cancer cases worldwide involves dietary factors, including how food is reheated. I am Dr. Tanaka. 3 foods in your refrigerator right now are undergoing this transformation. The third is the one every health-conscious person assumes is safe. That belief is dangerously mistaken. When food is cooked for the first time, heat produces predictable chemical reactions. Proteins unfold, starches gelatinize, fats melt and emulsify. These are normal processes. The food changes, but in manageable and largely predictable ways. The problem begins when you take food that has already undergone these changes, store it in a refrigerator for several hours or days, and then apply heat again. At that point, an entirely different set of reactions begins to occur, and that is when the damage begins. Right now, in refrigerators across the country, foods that were cooked yesterday are undergoing chemical changes that will continue when heat is applied again. 3 mechanisms matter most. First, oxidation. Fats and proteins that have been exposed to oxygen during storage become chemically unstable. When heat hits them again, they break down into compounds that can damage your DNA. Second, nitrosamine formation. Certain foods naturally high in nitrates undergo bacterial conversion during refrigeration. The nitrates become nitrites. When these foods are then reheated, those nitrites can react with amino acids to form nitrosamines, compounds the World Health Organization classifies as probable or confirmed carcinogens. Third, the Maillard reaction gone wrong. The reaction responsible for browning and flavor in cooked food produces beneficial results the first time. Repeated exposure to high heat can produce instead a class of compounds called advanced glycation end products, which promote chronic inflammation, one of the primary biological drivers of cancer development. Keep these 3 mechanisms in mind as we go through each food, because you will see one or more of them in every case. Let's start with the food that sits in more refrigerators than any other on Earth. Before we continue, I want to be transparent about the basis for everything I'm going to tell you. For this video, I reviewed peer-reviewed research published in journals including Food Chemistry, the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, Carcinogenesis, and guidance documents from the European Food Safety Authority and the World Health Organization. Every chemical claim I make is supported by published research. I am not here to sell you a supplement or frighten you into a course. I am here because the gap between what food science has established and what most people actually know about their own kitchens is significant, and it is a gap that preventive medicine can close. Food number 1, cooked rice. Rice is the most widely consumed staple food on Earth. More than 3 billion people rely on it as their primary source of calories. The assumption built into reheating rice is almost universal. If it is hot all the way through, it is safe. That assumption is incomplete. The problem with reheated rice begins not during the reheating, but during the time between the first cooking and the second. As cooked rice cools, it becomes an ideal environment for a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. This organism is naturally present in raw rice, survives the initial cooking process, and can multiply rapidly during the cooling and storage period. When you reheat the rice, the heat may eliminate the bacteria, but it does not destroy the heat-stable toxins they have already produced. Those toxins survive the microwave, survive the stovetop, and enter your digestive system intact. The bacterial concern is significant on its own, but there is a second issue that receives less attention. Repeated heating of starchy foods promotes the formation of acrylamide, a compound produced when natural sugars react with the amino acid asparagine under high heat. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies acrylamide as a Group 2A carcinogen, a probable carcinogen to humans. The longer and more frequently rice is reheated, the greater the exposure. What should you do instead? Cook rice fresh whenever possible. If you need to store it, spread it on a shallow tray immediately after cooking so it cools quickly and evenly. Refrigerate it within 1 hour, consume it within 24 hours, and never reheat rice more than once. Food number 2, cooked chicken. Chicken is the world's most popular lean protein. Doctors, dietitians, and fitness professionals consistently recommend it. Millions of people meal prep chicken for the week and reheat it daily, convinced they are making the healthiest possible choice. This is where the chemistry becomes important. When proteins found in animal muscle tissue are exposed to high temperatures for a second time, they undergo protein oxidation. One consequence of this process is the formation of compounds called heterocyclic amines, or HCAS. These are not a matter of theoretical concern. They are among the most extensively studied dietary carcinogens in the scientific literature. Once HCAs enter the body, liver enzymes metabolize them into highly reactive compounds that can bind directly to DNA. This interaction with DNA can produce genetic mutations. A landmark study published in the journal Carcinogenesis found that people who frequently consumed well-done or reheated poultry had a statistically significant increase in the risk of colorectal cancer. A separate analysis from Harvard found that frequent consumption of reheated chicken was associated with increased risk of pancreatic cancer, one of the most difficult cancers to treat, with a 5-year survival rate of approximately 11%. What should you do instead? Eat leftover cooked chicken cold in salads or wraps whenever possible. If reheating is necessary, use the lowest effective temperature and avoid overheating. Never reheat chicken more than once. The third food is the one I want you to stay with me for, because it is the one that surprises most people the most. It is a food that nutritionists, cardiologists, and cancer prevention specialists routinely tell you to eat more of. And they are right, in its fresh or freshly cooked form. But the way most people store and reheat it transforms it into something significantly different. If you find this kind of practical, evidence-based information useful, subscribe now. I publish one video a week, and everyone follows this same approach. Peer-reviewed science translated into decisions you can actually make at home. Food number 3, spinach and other nitrate-rich leafy greens. Spinach is arguably the most celebrated vegetable in healthy eating, rich in iron, folate, magnesium, and antioxidants. Recommended by oncologists, cardiologists, and registered dietitians alike. And that recommendation is entirely correct when spinach is eaten fresh or cooked once and consumed immediately. The problem arises during storage. Spinach, along with celery, beets, lettuce, and Swiss chard, is among the richest dietary sources of naturally occurring nitrates. In their natural form, these nitrates are beneficial. They support cardiovascular health and help regulate blood pressure. However, once cooked spinach is refrigerated, naturally occurring bacteria begin converting those nitrates into nitrites. This is the same chemical conversion that occurs in processed meats, which is one of the reasons the World Health Organization classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen in 2015. When spinach that has been refrigerated for 24 hours or more is then reheated, you are applying heat to a vegetable that has already undergone substantial nitrate to nitrite conversion. Under heat, those nitrites can react with amino acids present in the spinach and later in your stomach to produce nitrosamines. The European Food Safety Authority has issued formal guidance specifically warning about the potential risks associated with reheating nitrate-rich vegetables after refrigerated storage. The irony is hard to overstate. One of the most genuinely healthy foods available can become a source of carcinogenic compounds through a storage and reheating habit practiced every week by people who are specifically trying to eat well. What should you do instead? Cook spinach and other leafy greens fresh whenever possible, and eat them immediately after cooking. If you have leftovers, consume them cold within a few hours. Do not refrigerate cooked spinach with the intention of reheating it. If you must store it, keep it in an airtight container, eat it within 6 hours, and eat it cold. 3 foods, 3 distinct chemical mechanisms. 1. Consistent conclusion. The issue is not whether food is hot when you eat it. The issue is what has happened to the food between the first cooking and the second. Rice exposes you to bacterial toxins and a probable carcinogen. Chicken promotes direct DNA damage through heterocyclic amines. Spinach, stored and reheated, creates nitrosamines from what were originally beneficial compounds. Let me be direct with you. When I began reviewing this literature in depth, my primary reaction was not alarm, it was frustration. This information is not hidden. It appears in the European Food Safety Authority's guidance, in the World Health Organization's carcinogen classifications. And yet it reaches almost no one's dinner table. There are older adults reheating leftover chicken and spinach every week, not because they are careless, but because no one has ever told them what happens to those foods chemically before the second meal. There are people who read food labels, who choose organic produce, who count their macronutrients, who believe they are doing everything right, and who are reheating spinach every Tuesday without knowing that the storage and reheating process has altered its chemistry in a way that runs directly counter to the reason they are eating spinach in the first place. None of these people are doing anything wrong. They simply do not have this information. Now you do. Here is what I want you to do with it. Cook rice fresh when possible. If storing, cool within 1 hour, refrigerate, consume within 24 hours, and reheat only once. Eat leftover chicken cold when you can. Do not reheat cooked spinach or leafy greens. Eat them cold or cook fresh. Plan portions so you produce fewer leftovers. That is the single most effective change most people can make. Think about someone in your life who reheats leftovers without knowing what you now know. A parent, a partner, a grown child, eating reheated rice and chicken all week because they believe they are making a healthy choice. They deserve this information. You can give it to them in 10 seconds by sharing this video. Everything in this video is for educational purposes only and is not personal medical advice. Consult your physician or a registered dietitian before making significant changes to your diet, especially if you have an existing health condition. Thank you for watching.